Hey guys, this is Cliff, Curry Custom Cutlery. We have a new item on the bench. This is a Bucktool 6-inch bench grinder, 1750 RPMs. I'm going to go ahead and get set up, and we're going to see if we can't turn this thing into a dual size serration sharpening machine with a 1/2-inch wheel and a 1-inch wheel using our diamond wheels and our spacers. And let me get set up and I'll zoom us in and get us going. All right, let's get going. I probably mentioned it in previous videos, but at one time I was a repair technician, so I spent a good portion of my life taking things apart and putting them back together. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing this so much. This machine here is the Bucktool. I'll give you a model number. Bucktool model number TLG150S, and it is a 1750 RPM, so it's a half speed, and it's a 6-inch is the standard size. I like that it's actually going to be, I think I'll be able to still use these shields in place, and I'll probably end up flipping the motor around, try to use the shields, get them up, and then we'll get a 1/2-inch wheel like this one here and a 1-inch wheel over here. The trick is I'm running at about 1,000 RPMs, 900 RPMs here, and that's with a 200 grit wheel. And this is what needs to be thought about, is whether or not 1750 RPMs is too fast and it's going to cook the edge or not. And so we're finding this out together. If it does, this is a great off-the-shelf way for people to bolt a machine together without having to go ahead and do a custom machine. That's why I'm doing this video. It's running, it's smooth, it's in balance, and so we know this is going to work. As far as that part, that's our baseline. All right, so I'm going to take this apart and we'll get going from there. I'll probably just speed that part up for us. And I'll get a little tool to help us as well. Cool. There we go. And we'll just throw all those in there. Get that off to the side. Let's see. If it spins this way, it's going to spin the opposite way to tighten. So another way to remember it is you want to loosen in the direction the arrow is going, is typically the way that works. Oh wow, they really got that on there. See if we can jam something in there. Nope. Let's try to jam that down in there. There we go. Perfect. And get that out of the way. Okay, always hang on to these. Those are really important later on. I think I'll just go ahead and get rid of that. One, two, three. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side over here. Make sure we're still recording. Yep, we're recording. Cool. Okay, same deal. Wedge that down in there and crack it loose. There we go. Uh-oh, screw on the ground. So if this all works, what I'll do is when we get done, I'll find out where I want the shroud to be, and then I'll mark and drill 3 more holes into place. So I always like the idea of using the shrouds if possible. So I do want to flip this thing around no matter what. So I think I'll do that right now, optimistically thinking they'll be able to make this whole project work. So what you need to do to flip this thing around is you need to get into the base of the unit. Usually it's these little pads out of the way. Don't lose the pads because that's the stability part. And then if you look inside here, I'm going to bring it up for the camera. There's 2 screws, one there, one there. You unloosen the screws, you flip the motor around, and that's all there is to it. And that's how you reverse the direction of the motor. A lot of these motors, you can't do the wiring different. So I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to gently flip the thing over, and then we're going to set it right back into position as easily as possible without making sure that the wires aren't pinched on anything, etc. Where did my screwdriver go? Okay, I'll just use that. And I'm not going to tighten it down until I get the other one in place. And oh, I know where all the screwdrivers are. They're over. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All the screwdrivers are over in the clipper blade section. Okay. All right, you guys get the idea. So I'm going to screw this back down. And if you're new to this whole thing, this is how you customize a machine. And you do want to make sure that your base is tightened down good to the motor. And then we'll put these little guys back on right here. This whole project should take maybe 10 minutes if it works. So I have all the adapters here. We have the new diamond wheels, and I'll share some of that and talk to you guys a little bit more about diamond wheels here. Okay, now we're back in action. Just for giggles, I will plug it in. So it's spinning away from us now, which is what we want. And now, let's see about getting a diamond wheel on this thing. Let's just take this one right here. I'll shut it off. The thing with these little DC motors and why I like them is they have precise speed control and they have unstoppable torque. so once they are moving, you don't have to worry about them getting bogged down. So here's the spacer. It's a 15 millimeter inside, but that one's for this specific motor shaft right here. And I will go grab a different arbor adapter. Here's the arbor adapter. We sell this on our website as well. Same price as Amazon. And the trick is going to be, you want to use these. Actually, I'll use that one from that side, so because it stops it from hitting the motor. So I'm going to put one of those in place. I'm going to use this full arbor adapter, and it goes from 1 inch on the outside to a 1/2 inch in the middle. So it slides right into place, just like that. And then this should come right in on that. Locks right into place. Then we'll use one of these. Then we'll use one of these. Lock nut. Oop, come on. Oh, my nut isn't. Oh, I'm a ding dong. I grabbed the wrong nut. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, this one actually was with this one here. I'm just going to leave it right there. But this one came off of here. Weird. I don't know. Oh, that's funny. It's been a long day already. So the reason why that nut didn't fit is because I flipped the motor around. Yeah, I'm a pro. Okay. What you gotta make sure of is that you've got either washers or a way, so we're not quite, I can see exposed shafts so that this isn't gonna actually lock down on there. So what we need then, probably just that. I think to make it more secure, I'll grab one more of the arbor adapters for right now. And what I really need is to go to the hardware store and just go get a couple 1/2 inch washers. But that onto there with that onto there. Now, here's what's to check for. I'm not really worried about the side-to-side wobble because I'm using the original plates that'll clamp it in place. What you do want to see is if you got any up and down free play run out, I guess is what they call it. And this is what we're talking about, is we're actually talking about how much slop is there between this and that. There is no real, just enough to make it to where it's not snug, but it's in place. So let's see how wobbly it is, just right out of the box. Okay, I just crimped it down. So it's got a little bit of wobble side to side. Let's see if we can't straighten that out a little bit. This side to side. And what you got is when you clamp it in place, there's a little bit of side-to-side wobble on it. And so you could really, if you wanted to, you could take the time to identify where this thing is moving a little bit to the side, bump it, and see if you can get it that way. Honestly, it's not going to affect it. Let me grab a serrated knife and we'll give this thing a test. So there's our knife, real basic scallops. I'll start down here at the very back one, and then we should be able to see what this thing does. I figure since it's running twice as fast, I'm just gonna go touch it real light and real quick. And you can see how that fast put a little cook on it. Makes a nice scallop. Let me try to go a little lighter on the pressure. Oh, that works okay. So it's very soft touch. Hold it in place. 1, 2, I usually count in my head like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's the harder pressure, which I typically use at slower speed. There's what we have is we have a large burr built up along that whole edge right to here. And then no cooking, which is good. And we have nice looking scallops. Call to win. In fact, I could probably go back and just lightly okay, those are good. Yeah, just don't press too hard. Let the wheel do the work, because it's got an abrasive grit of 200 and it's spinning very fast. So you don't need to apply pressure. If the scallops are worn out, then I would just come back and I would hit them again. So I would do 2 light passes at the same angle. And I just use my hand to brace, and that way I can adjust. If I want a smaller scallop, I can come down a little bit lower. If I want a deeper scallop, I'll come up a little bit higher, and that's based on the radius of the wheel and how I'm attacking coming in. So you'll get a longer scallop, but it can be smaller, closer together, point to point. If it's a wider scallop, I'll actually tip up and I'll make it more of a blunt scallop. This thing's working great. It's actually smooth. It's got a little bit of side to side, but it isn't going to affect it when it's running at this speed. I'll get a big one. We'll do that next. But while we're right here, hopefully that showed up on camera. And while I'm right here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll do the next 2 steps. Like that 1750 RPM. This is a 1750 RPM wide. I don't like that these aren't protected, because you never would use this section. If anything hits here, it's going to throw it. So having a safety board right here in front would probably be the next thing that I do. These are spinning away, and this is a PowerTech, I think, but it's got the wide spindle. The reason why this doesn't work so good for these kind of things is sometimes you don't want to be that close, like on a machete or something like that. I like to have this distance between them. I have to do another video for you guys on how to true these wheels up. You can see that they're out of round, and we'll cover that in a separate video. But for right now, I've got it screwed down. So all that burr is on the back side, and instead of fussing around with it, we have perfect scallops. Let's try to zoom. There we go. So we have really nice looking scallops. So I'm just going to bring it from the I'm going to move that burr all to the backside and I hit it flat. There's no angling or bringing different bevels in. Then I just use the corner to lightly brush it to the front. I push harder on that and the burr all flies off, and then I come over to the next step. Flat on the back so you don't get a weird change in the profile. Come in and hit, depending on the steel, you'll have that little bit extra burr or whatever. Now that's completely deburred. The funny thing is I don't have any I don't have any phone book. So I've got that. Okay, so I like that. I think I will actually use that as a workstation. And that just means we're going to go ahead and do it one more time. Okay, let's see how this side goes. Everybody still with me? Let's get this finished up. Yeah, is this gonna work? Actually will work. Do you need to have the safety panels on, the little safety Sally things on? Probably not. I enjoy them being there. Just for right now, let's see how this could work for us. So I like to sharpen right up here in the front, as you guys saw, and the way this thing is set up is it's set up to go right there. And it doesn't really have a setup. Now I'll have to come back and drill, and I don't feel like doing that right now while I'm trying to make a video for you guys, so we are going to do that later on. Just get all this junk out of the way. I will make sure that we keep it so I don't lose it and I can use it later. Okay. We got a 1-inch wheel, 200 grit. We got our plate, our screw, and then we got a couple more things here. This is an arbor adapter that's 1 inch wide, also available on our website. So I'm going to start with the butt cap that'll hold it from hitting up against the frame. I'm going to use a 1 inch wide. Perfect. I'm going to use a 200 grit 1 inch wheel. And you can see it's got some side to side, and that's because you got to get this thing pinned down to anchor into the right spot. I think by wiggling it as you go, you're going to help it to seat properly. Once it's all the way down, I'm just going to give it a little snug, and then I'm going to hold on to it in case it's got a bad vibration. That looks really nice to me. How's it look on the camera? Let me bring you guys in closer. So there you go. There's a complete machine with a 1750 RPM and a couple arbor adapters. This is the 1/2 inch arbor adapter for the 1/2 inch wheel. We have the 1 inch arbor adapter for this one. The 1/2 inch side does need to have a couple extra spacer washers. Other than that, I think this is a perfectly functional unit just like that. And then the next machine I would have above that potentially would be an identical machine if you were doing a space-saving area. And then that would have a Scotch-Brite wheel and a buffing wheel, which I may just use this one right here. This is also a Bucktool, and maybe I'll just adapt this to do the same thing, and I'll make a 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got extra machines here I'm not using, so that can work. Okay, cool. I just had last customer of the day leave, so I had to pause, and it worked out good. So that was the Serration station with a Bucktool 1750 RPM bench grinder. I think it worked out really good. I think it's actually a functional product that you could use without having to do any custom stuff and monkeying around. I think it works good. That's my final result. I didn't have any trouble with the balance or the wobble on it. And we have the wheels available. We have some more coming in. If they're not available on our shop.currycustomcutlery.com website, we'll have some more coming really soon. And I think that's it, you guys. We got new things, new products, and we're gonna start making some more videos. Hopefully they're functional and of high quality that give you guys some good information that'll help everybody. Hope everyone's doing good. Have a great night. Aloha.
Shop dog. Shop dog. What you doing? Shop dog. Ellie. Psst. Psst, psst, psst. What you doing?
Ready to go home? Let's go. Let's go home. Good girl.